My very first mobile game just hit 1 million downloads, and in this video I'm going to break down how much exactly it earned over the last 6 years since launch. This is actually my second game to reach this milestone, and the numbers might surprise you. Hey everyone! So my mobile game Element recently crossed 1 million downloads, which is incredible. For some background, my other game called Endurance also hit 1 million downloads a bit earlier this year and actually performed even better in terms of money. If you want to check the video about Endurance revenue, it's right here. But today I want to focus on Ailment because this was my very first game that started this whole journey for me. And let me take you back to 2017. I wasn't a programmer at all back then. I was working as computer graphic artist and I was doing 3D modeling and animation for my job. But I wanted to learn coding, and I had this idea for a game that was inspired by another game called Soul Knight. So I've decided to learn Unity and C# from scratch, which initially took me around 3-4 months. Here's the thing though, I started and stopped working on this game multiple times. I worked on it for about 4 to 5 months in 2017, and then I dropped it because I had a full-time job and freelance project to work on, and I was losing motivation. I tried working on it again in 2018, but it was really frustrating because I kept forgetting what I had coded before. It was like starting over each time. And finally, in 2017, I made a commitment to myself. I want to finish this game. So I've set myself a hard deadline of May 1st, 2019 for the Android release. I restarted development in February 2019, and guess what? I actually hit the deadline and released the game on time. So in total I spent around 9 months actively making it. And now, before we get to the earnings, let's talk about how much I spent on this game. In total, I've invested around $3,000. This money went toward a few different things. I paid my friend to create the music and sound effects for the game, as I couldn't make those myself, and I also spent some money on marketing efforts to promote the game. The rest I did by myself. Game design, coding, art. I know it's pretty ugly, but it was my first attempt with pixel art. I also did the story for the game. For the marketing part, I reached out to mobile game magazines and review websites. I also contacted YouTubers, asking them to try my game and maybe make reviews about it. I even tried launching 2 Kickstarter campaigns to help cover my expenses while I was working on the game, but honestly, both of those campaigns flopped completely. They didn't raise enough money. But that's okay though, because it was still a good learning experience for me. Probably I won't do it ever again in my life. When the game finally launched, it got some really solid traction right away. In the first few months after release, I got around 20,000 downloads on Google Play, and when I launched the iOS version, I got right away 100,000 downloads. I think it was in the very first months. Not bad at all for someone who was a complete beginner. But here's where it gets really exciting. By the end of 2019, Google Play reached out to me directly. They wanted to feature Ailment as one of the best indie games of 2019 in certain regions around the world. And I couldn't believe it. The game was also featured as Game of the Day on App Store 1 or 2 times, and it appeared in featured sections on Google Play as well. For someone who had never made a game before, this kind of recognition from the platform themselves was absolutely incredible and completely unexpected. I never thought my first game would get this kind of attention. Alright, here's what you've been waiting for. Let me break down all the money I made over these 6 years since launch. When I just started, I used Unity ads for the first few months, which brought in $900. Then I switched to AdMob for over a year and earned $12,635, and in 2020 I've tried Yodo One Mass Ad Mediation, which had generated $11,222. I created both a free version with ads and a paid premium version without ads. Together this brought $10,099. The iOS version, which launched a bit later in summer 2019, added another $3,880 from in-app purchases. As the game gained more recognition and downloads in 2019, something amazing started happening. Multiple publishers began reaching out to me, offering to port Ailment to different gaming platforms like Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and so on. This was completely unexpected for a first-time developer, and I was quite overwhelmed with this, but it opened up whole new revenue streams for me. The Chinese publisher port brought in around $200, which honestly didn't work out very well. The Nintendo Switch port has earned around $3,500. The Xbox has been surprisingly good and brought in around $12,400, making it a significant income source. I also did a Steam release myself, but it only earned $700 because it struggled due to mobile to PC control issues, and in the end made me really disappointed about releasing games on Steam. I might get back to it someday though. Finally, another publisher handled some alternative distribution on Android and earned $322. What's really interesting is that these publisher deals came to me. I didn't have to hunt them down or spend time looking for them. The game's success and platform recognition attracted their attention naturally. The total revenue from all these streams is $55,858 over these 6 years. That's close to $56,000 for a single project. Here are the key lessons I've learned that might help you if you're thinking about making games. First lesson: port to multiple platforms. This is really important. Don't just stick to one platform when you release the game. As you can see from my numbers, my Xbox port alone brought in over $12,000, and the Nintendo Switch added another $3,500. Each platform becomes another revenue stream for your game. Second lesson: offer both free and premium versions. There is different psychology at play here with different types of players. Some players are happy to watch ads in exchange of free gaming experience, while other players prefer to pay upfront for an ad-free premium experience. Why not serve both types of audiences then? Third lesson: games can earn money for years. 6 years later, Ailment still earns me money every single month. It's not 800 to 1000 monthly that it was making in the early days, but it's still bringing in a few dollars consistently. That's basically passive income from work I did years ago. Fourth lesson: you don't need to be a programmer. I learned Unity and C# programming in about 3 to 4 months with absolutely no prior coding experience. If you're an artist or come from any creative background, you can absolutely learn to code. I'm still learning and improving my programming skills, but the barrier to entry isn't as high as you might think. If you want to see how my second game Androids performed financially, and spoiler alert, it did even better than Ailment, I've got a whole video breaking down those numbers too. You can check that out right here. What's your experience with indie game development? Have you released anything or thinking about starting? Let me know in the comments what you think. And if this revenue breakdown was helpful for you, hit the like button and subscribe. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.